In this video, I'm going to be changing the engine oil, the final drive oil, and also giving you a brief introduction to my new Honda Vision 110 scooter. Hello and a very warm welcome to another video from Auto Night. Yes, I've done it again. I've gone and bought myself something else with an engine. This is my Honda Vision 110. Now, I had never been a fan of the bigger wheeled scooters, but the guy that I bought this from in Surrey said to me, you really need to ride it because they ride great. And I did, and I absolutely loved it. You see, for a man who's 6'1", 17 stone, that's about 95 kilograms, probably being kind to myself there, you need something that you don't completely swamp, and a man can look ridiculous on a tiny scooter. But the proportions of this are great. This is a 2019. It has only covered 1,000 miles from new. And it's in beautiful condition. There was some light scuffing to this panel here, and I replaced this. I got a new one from a Honda dealer. It was only £28 and it was already painted in the right colour, which I think was a bargain. These bikes are incredibly economical, and apparently they do 146 miles per gallon, which is astonishing. It's got stop-start technology, and I just love the way it really gently purrs into life. Despite the very low mileage, today I'm going to change the engine oil and the final drive oil. Whenever I buy a vehicle, I always like to do an oil change. That way I know exactly where I am with it and I know what oil is in there. Now it's time to take this bike for a really good ride to get things really hot. Okay, so just back from a really nice ride. It's quite nippy actually for just a 110cc bike. I mean, it's never going to break any land speed records, but it feels a bit more like a 125 scooter. I haven't had a bike for a few months now, and I guess I've just bought this just for buzzing around the local villages on sunny days and just for fun. I'm by no means a serious biker, fair weather only. If it's raining, I won't ride it. If it's too hot, I won't ride it. And there's a very narrow window where I'll actually get on this thing. Most of the time I'll probably just enjoy owning it. So in terms of parts, here is the engine oil. It's Motul, got it on eBay. It was a very good price, about 13, 14 quid I think from memory. And it's the right spec, it's the MB there. That's what you're looking for. 4-stroke motorcycle oil. This is 100% synthetic. This is the transmission oil. This is a genuine Honda gear oil that I managed to track down online. It's 10W30. It seems to conform to the right specs, but the specs are vague, and even in the handbook it doesn't really make it that clear what should go in there. Some people use Hypoid, final drive gear oil, 80W90, whatever. I know it does need to be 10W30. Some people say they just use this, but it's a devil to actually get it into the final drive for reasons that you will see in just a moment. So I like the idea of this applicator here on this. Here we've got sump plug washer, and this O-ring is for another plug that we need to remove where there is a little filter in there and a spring, and you'll see that in a minute too. So in terms of this final drive, you've got the drain and then you've got the filler. Doesn't hold very much at all, and these are 12mm bolts which I'm going to remove now. It's been standing a little while to let things settle. I'll start with the filler bolt. I'm using a Pyrex dish so I can actually look at the oil that comes out of this and see what kind of a state it's in. There are washers on these bolts, so make sure that you get those as well. And here it goes. Now the engine oil drain is on the other side, the right hand side of the bike, just under the exhaust here. There we go, another 12mm bolt. loosen that, place a container under it. And let that drain. There goes the washer. I do have a new washer for that, as you saw earlier. So we'll let that engine oil just fully drain out. Now on the left hand side of the bike, here is where the filter lives. This is a 17mm bolt to remove that cap, which we'll do now. Again, another little jug there just to catch whatever comes out of there. And this little gauze filter comes out. That needs to be cleaned out. So this is the arrangement. Goes back in like that, but I'm going to give this a good clean. Here it all is on the bench. New sump plug washer, new seal for this cap here, and this has all been cleaned with brake cleaner, so it's all pristine, ready to go back on the bike. A little bit of fresh oil around that seal. That end there goes into the cap. And then it's refitted like that. We refit this cover, and according to the manual we tighten this to 20 Newton meters. Refit the sump drain plug, and the manual says to torque this to 24 Newton meters. I say manual, it was actually the handbook. Refit the drain bolt for the final drive, and according to my research these done up to 13 Newton meters. It's really not very tight. These casings are really soft. If you over tighten these you'll strip the threads, and that would be an absolute pain in the arse. And refill the final drive with this handy little applicator. This nozzle could do with actually being a little bit thinner, because when it's pushed right in here it doesn't allow any air to escape as the oil enters. There's 120 millilitres in here, and according to the handbook, if you're changing the fluid without rebuilding it'll only take 100, but if you rebuild the final drive it will take 120. So 100 is the service fill. Well, it actually took all 120 millilitres, and it's now level with that filler plug, despite what the handbook said. Refit the fill bolt and torque to 13 Newton meters. Now we just need to fill this with 0.7 of a litre. I'm always cautious, so I'll start with 0.6 and then recheck it. Don't want to overfill it. Quick blast of brake cleaner around the cap to make sure I dislodge any dirt. I don't want anything going in there that shouldn't be in there. So it's taken 0.7 actually, and it seems to be on the level. That's good. Let's fire it up. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope it's been useful. There is also a 50cc version available of this scooter, which I would imagine would be quite slow, but it is out there for those who are looking for one. It's a great bike, and looking on YouTube, it seems they have quite a following. There are loads of videos, loads of people that get really enthusiastic about these, and now I own one myself. I can really see why. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.